Now, the People's Democratic Party has insisted that the 26 Rivers House of Assembly lawmakers who dumped the party for the All Progressives Congress were no longer members of the state legislature. The People's Democratic Party National Legal Advisor, Ademi Ajibade, said this shortly after Justice Donatus Okorowo of a federal high court, Abuja, adjourned the embattled Rivers lawmakers' suit until January 24th, 2026. Ajibade said, though President Bola Tinubu might have intervened in the dispute between Governor Sim Fubara and the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, the party stood on what the Constitution says about the defection. According to the senior lawyer, aside from that, the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is very clear, as Section 109 is clear as to issues of defection. To further discuss this, I am joined by Tunji Abdul Hamid, lawyer and, of course, public affairs analyst. Thank you so much for your time, Tunji.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be with you.
All right. Now, let's start off with what the Constitution actually says about defection, seen as the People's Democratic Party claims to be abiding by the law.
Yeah, the Section 109, Subsection 1G of the Constitution states that, in summary, that once you defect from a party to another party, you must be sponsored by a party. And once you defect from that party that sponsored you for your election, and you go to another party, you will lose your seat. But there are there's a condition under which you may not be able to, you may not lose your seat. That's if you can establish that there's a division in that your party. Then you can, in that regard, move without any incurring any punishment. But when there is no any division and you move from one party to another, then you automatically lose your seat, and that is what the section is talking about.
Now, talking about division and what we've seen, of course, play out in the past weeks in Rivers State, what impact will this have, particularly on the Rivers House of Assembly?
Well, let me first of all establish that I am not aware of any division in PDP. I am not aware that we have two PDP anywhere in
sorry to cut in. Can you put the division in a context so that we are clear? What does it mean by law?
No, what the law says, because there are decisions of the Supreme Court in this regard. The famous one is that of Ondo State, Abegude. And then the Supreme Court has said, look, for there to be a division, the party there must be no room in that party to do anything. In other words, the national body of the party must be scattered. In other words, you don't even know who is the actual chairman of the party, who's in charge. Nobody's in charge. So if there's a division as to who is a secretary, who is a PRO or whatever, that is not a division. There's a dispute or there's an agreement as to who is the chairman or who is the secretary or whatever. That would not amount to a division. A division will only occur where you have a situation whereby, just like what happened in the Labour Party before in the last election, where we have the Papa faction and the the other faction. That's what they call division. But in this instance, I'm not aware we have such in a PDP where other people are claiming or laying claim to be the right national executive member of the PDP. I'm not aware of that. So division must be national. It must not be just one dispute or disagreement between one part of the party.
So are you saying that the lawmakers, in spite of what the Constitution says, given this circumstance that you've given, have a right to their seats in the House?
Yeah, if our law is to be followed, I think it's an ongo by them. They score an ongo, and as it is, they don't have right to that seat any longer. If we are following our law, if we are a country where law or rule of law prevails, they by now should not even be calling themselves a member of the House of Assembly in that Rivers State.
Okay, you said they shouldn't be calling themselves members of that assembly, but you also said that you're not aware of a division in the parties. I mean, if that's the caveat, meaning that if the party is solid...
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, that division... I'm saying that defection from PDP to APC has no basis in law. That is summary of what I said.
Okay.
That having defected from PDP to APC without establishing any division in PDP, they've automatically lost their seats. That's my point.
All right. Now, do you think that the intervention of the president, in all of this, in any way can sort of maybe could have impacted the outcome of what we're seeing, or can in a way sort of influence maybe the decision of the PDP?
With due respect to the president, though I'm not opposed to him intervening, he has the right to intervene. But in intervening in that kind of matter, you cannot just use an ordinary agreement or proclamation to override the provision of the Constitution. The Constitution is clear. We're talking about law here. We're not talking about dispute between an individual on a contract or any other agreement. We are talking about the law. What does the law say? So if you cannot just come and say you are resolving an issue and then you ignore the provision of the Constitution and then they just say they just do it this way. It's not the way. So the intervention of the president has not in a way helped the situation. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, it's just a one-sided a solution of proclamation. It's like an order or directive to a governor. A sitting governor is on his own. We are operating a federal system of government, and the president has no power under our law to direct or give any instruction to the president, particularly when to the governor, particularly when it has to do with law. It's about political interest or political party dispute now. Yes, you can resolve it by political means. But if you are talking about law, there's no political solution that can override the provision of the law. No political solution cannot be used to set aside the law of the country, except we are looking for that. Or except we want to build a president that will be seen as a almighty president and cannot be checked by anybody.
Thank you so much for your time. Tunji Abdulhamid, lawyer and public affairs analyst. Once again, thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be with you.